Welcome back to the world of English literature. This is a wonderful chapter, The Rat Trap, the story of a peddler, a vagabond, who used to sell rat traps everywhere. Dear students, we have been learning about this peddler in the last 3 videos. We learned who he was, what he was doing, why did he steal 30 kroner from an old man who had given him shelter. In this last episode, we are going to learn about the transformation of this peddler. What made him transform in his life? What changed him in his life? I welcome all of you to the wonderful episode of the transformation of the peddler in the 4th video of the story, The Rat Trap. You know that the peddler stole 30 kroner from the old crofter. The old crofter was living alone. He had no wife, sons and daughters. He was living with the help of a cow. Every month he earned 30 kroner. That was his monthly income. When the peddler came to know this, the old man has 30 kroner with him. From that moment onwards, he had a tendency to steal it from him. The next morning, he steals the money and running to a forest. He didn't want to give notice of him to anybody. Therefore, he is finding a lonely path in the forest. But unfortunately, this man could not find a way. He was moving or circling in the forest. Finally, he found the sound of different works done in the forest. He realized that it was coming from a mill. You know that this story is taking place in Sweden. Sweden is very rich in different types of mine areas, and there are different ironworks. There was an iron mill working in the middle of the forest. It was Ramsjo Ironworks. You can see the name of the ironworks on the screen here. Ramsjo Ironworks. This is the mill where the crofter was working in his good time, from whom the peddler had stolen 30 kroner. Let's know what happened to the peddler and how did he come to Ramsjo Ironworks. Darkness was already descending over the forest. This increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Finally, he thought he would die in the forest, but he suddenly heard the sound of the nearby iron mill. He rushed towards it. It was the Ramsjo Ironworks. He thought he would spend the night there. The blacksmith glanced at him casually. He asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded. So he came to this mill for a shelter that night. But there was a man working in the mill, the blacksmith, master blacksmith. Nodding his head, the peddler gains permission to stay that night. But not willingly, unwillingly. The iron master, the second man who was in the mill was the iron master, the owner of this mill, thought that he recognized the rat trap person and mistook him for his old acquaintance Nils Orof. It was night and the old ironmaster was not able to recognize the stranger. He thought that the man who was standing before him was his old friend Nils Olof. After great conversation, the ironmaster insisted the rat trapper to go to his home. The rat trapper declined politely, but then the ironmaster's oldest daughter, Edra Wilmanson, came to him and compassionately asked the rat trapper to join them for the night. The rat trap seller had no choice and accepted the offer. Dear students, here the ironmaster misunderstands with this man. He thought that the man who was standing before him was his old friend. His name was Niels Olof. It was night, and he invites this man to his house for shelter and dinner. But the peddler denied the invitation. Why? Because he thought that he will be caught. Because he is well aware that he is in a trap. He is in the rat trap. That means he had stolen 30 kroner from somebody, and he is doubtful about everyone who is coming before or after him. But the ironmaster went home and told everything to his daughter, and his daughter came there, Edla Wilmanson, and she very compassionately asked the rat trapper to join them for the night. The rat trapper had no choice and accepted the offer. But finally, the rat trap seller had to accept the invitation of the oldest daughter of the ironmaster, Edla Wilmanson. Edla Wilmanson is one of the important, prominent characters of the story, the rat trap. Let us come to the last part of this story, the Christmas celebration at the ironmaster's. Well, the trapper, the peddler, is changing his life. Let's know what happens there. He visited the house and became ready to stay the night there. Sometimes he thought about the lonely old man and felt sorry for stealing his money. Definitely the compassionate attitude of Edla Wilmanson brought some light in the peddler. He started thinking about the old man and the money he had stolen from him. The ironmaster and his daughter helped the peddler. They gave him nice clothes, shaved his beard, and gave him food. They kept on conversing. After some time, the ironmaster realized that he had made a grave mistake, that the peddler was not his old friend or acquaintance. But the next day, the ironmaster realized that the one who was invited to their house the previous night was not his old friend. It was a stranger, absolutely. Let's know what happens after this. This the ironmaster at once thought to him, or thought turned in the rat trap person. However, Edla insisted her father to let the rat trap maker stay, since it was Christmas Eve, and also celebrate Christmas with them. So at once the ironmaster decided to throw him out of his house, throw the peddler out of his house, because he was absolutely a stranger. He was cheated. The peddler could have said that he was not his old friend, but instead he accepted the invitation. Maybe in the beginning, initially, the peddler declined or denied the invitation because of this. But with the compulsion of, the compassionate compulsion of Edla Wilmanson, he is accepting. Maybe that is another reason why Edla is asking her father to let the man stay with them that day to celebrate the Christmas. And finally, her father agrees, and they celebrate Christmas together. After the day was over, the next day, the ironmaster and Edla learned that the peddler was a thief when they were in the church. The next morning, the two, ironmaster and Edla Wilmanson, went to church for the Christmas service. From there, they came to know, they heard the people speak or talk each other that a man was stolen, robbed the previous night from the next village. 30 kroner was stolen from that old man, and he has run away. Now both ironmaster and Edla Wilmanson realizes that the man who was sheltered was the thief, and also who had stolen the 30 kroner from the old man. They at once decided to go home, since they thought he might have stolen their precious belongings. However, to their surprise, the peddler did not steal a thing. He left a note to Edla in the form a tiny rat trap. He had kept a rat trap also, and inside the rat trap a note also was kept. He had not taken anything, though he was not there. There he told her that her kindly affection made him get away from the feeling of being trapped in the rat trap. He also left the money, all lonely old man's money, and asked them to return it to him. He not only left the note, but also had kept the money he had taken or stolen from the old man, and asked Edla to hand over the money, return the money to the old man as his Christmas gift. Dear students, this is real transformation of a man because of the kind, affectionate work of a lady here. That's why I told you in the previous explanation that she has a prominent role in the story. Edla Wilmanson is playing a vital role in the story for the transformation of the rat trap seller. Dear students, let us conclude the story here. The story, rat trap, teaches us that the world is like a huge rat trap, and everyone is wanting to fulfill their own wishes, like the rat trap maker who makes trap for rats but later fell in his own rat trap in order to get more money. This rat trap situations will keep on happening, but love, kindness towards each other and empathy can be used to get relief from this feeling of being in a rat trap, and it can help in us long way. Dear students, that is the end of the story, the rat trap. Dear students, finally, the bitter truth dawns on the host. Edla is downcast when she learns that the peddler is a thief. The tramp undergoes a change of heart after experiencing her kindness. He returns the stolen money and writes a letter to her thanking her for helping him escape the rat trap. And he attains nobility of spirit and becomes Captain Vaughn's Tale, the real captain, I mean the friend of the old ironmaster. The story ends with the victory of human goodness. Therefore, I conclude the story telling that this is a story with an essential goodness of human beings, or the essential goodness in a human being never dies. It can be awakened through understanding and love. Miss Edla Wilmanson awakens the basic goodness of the peddler. He is transformed into a noble person in the end. Dear students, that's the moral I can convey about or regarding this chapter, the rat trap. Dear students, I hope you enjoyed and understood this chapter and this video. I am your English teacher Santosh signing out. By this, take care, have a wonderful day.